to the very last minute.
Pass for the lead. As you saw Dario Franchitti get around Paul Tracy. So that'll be our third different leader. Here's Will Power right on the back wing of the 15. Going another crash. It looks like the 34 is in. That's Mario Romancini. He had just taken a pit stop on this last caution, and there he is. It's local, but unless they get him refired, they are going to have to bring out the full course caution once again. Race leader Dario Franchitti coming to start finish right now.
Oh, this is going to turn into a full course caution with the safety vehicle out there at the end of the straightaway. Have to.
And it just flies. So now we have our fourth full course caution here at Toronto. So, boy, after a very good opening stretch of laps, we have now had 12 full laps of caution. Here's the replay.
Congestion again going down here into turn 3. And once again, if you can believe, in this scenario for KV Racing is not having a whole lot of luck here, because Mario Moraes is going to come down here and just sort of push everyone around and cause this collision.
Moraes able to keep going. Dan Weldon's able to stay out of the fray, but unfortunately for Romancini, the wheel's off and he's climbing out.
And they always say that yellows breed yellows, and I'm going to go against the thinking here. I guess if I am Paul Tracy right now and I'm up here and running, if I can just get a lot more yellows and then still everybody has to have one stop, at least I'm still at the front of the grid. Maybe both strategies will work.
Well, we're going to find out as this continues to unfold. Hopefully, we're going to get some more green flag racing here on the streets of Toronto. It's been a yellow fest for about the last 13. We're going side by side.
Here in Toronto, well, Paul Tracy and his team, they finally called uncle. They realized they could only get a couple laps of green flag racing after this yellow. As a result, they brought him in. They've got to hold him a little bit, get the fuel in. They're going to go ahead and put on the new tires and send him back out. Hopefully the last time they'll have to do this. They've got to have obviously a problem with the fuel, getting it all in there, Vince.
Well, Vitor Meira, AJ Foyt has talked to him about his braking. They had brake issues yesterday, and it seems as though Vitor is braking much earlier, certainly than what AJ would like for him to brake. And they talked about the fact that, are the brakes working okay? Vitor seems to think that they are, but we've seen a couple of instances where he has been braking much earlier than the car behind him, causing a little bit of an issue. So we'll keep our eye on that situation, Marty.
And they quickly catch up to the back of the field as we're about to get ready to go back to green flag racing. We can't tell you that IndyCar officials have levied a penalty against Mario Moraes. He'll have a drive-through after we go green for the avoidable contact, which he did not avoid. Well, it seems like it was a long time ago. In fact, it was 2 cautions ago when Alex Lloyd had his issues and Jamie Little's caught up with him.
And he is okay. He walked out here to pit road, and 2 weeks in a row, unfortunately, Alex, we're meeting like this. Leads me to ask, what is going on out there right now?
I don't know. I mean, for us, we think something may have broken because it was pretty sudden, just kind of going down the straight, and then just before braking to turn 1, it just started doing 360s down the straight. So something happened there. We'll have to take a look at it, see what happened. But it's slippery out there, and people are racing hard, and it gets bottlenecked up at some of these turns, and so it's not easy, but people are making a hard job of it so far.
All right, we've gone back to green, Marty.
They certainly have. Down into turn number 1. As you watch, we'll reset it. Franchitti, Power, Wilson, Hunter Ray, Tony Kanaan. That's your top 5. Will we survive turn 3? Keep your fingers crossed. We're working lap number 36. Taking a look, that's Dixon trying to get under Kanaan, thinks better of it. A little further back, that's Danica Patrick with Alex Tagliani. That's a battle for 9th on the racetrack.
And you saw the push to pass graphic for a few of the drivers using it going down the straightaway. Sometimes that's even used in defensive mode to make sure that the driver behind you does not get passed.
Somebody who's used it the most is Danica Patrick as she goes zooming by there. She's used it now. She's down to 9 remaining out of the 15.
Marty, you mentioned out of this whole group, the only one that's on those red alternate tires is 3rd place Justin Wilson. So what he'd like to be able to do is maybe take advantage of the grip of those tires because they do come in a little quicker and maybe get past some cars directly in front of him.
Tagliani able to hold off Danica. Rafa Matos trying to put some pressure on the 7 car. And then Graham Rahal. And we go on board with Danica, and you can actually watch her footwork.
Hard on the gas because we have shift on the go here. She uses the paddle shifters. Not like the old days of lifting your foot to make a gear change. Oh, and just tries to slide on the inside of Alex Tagliani. Does not get it done. She'll be hard on the brakes here in a second into turn 5. Back on the gas. Might work the throttle just a little bit going through turn 6 here. Hesitancy, and then she's finally on it. As you can see, going down through the gears now, down to 2nd gear. See how slow some of these turns are. You want to get your foot on the gas as quickly as possible to get that acceleration out of the turn. You see that turn there is not very good for her, turn 10 and 11, so she had made a bottleneck of everybody there in turn 10, Vince Welsh.
Danica Patrick's had a oversteer problem throughout much of this weekend. That means the car has been very loose. She hasn't had a comfortable feel with it. They put more downforce in the car for qualifying, and it was better. Took the downforce back out for the morning warm-up. It was loose again. So they put about 3/4 amount of that downforce back in the car today. She says it's much more manageable here in the race. They did give her a little front wing because of some understeer in that first stop, but otherwise a pretty comfortable car, at least in regards to how it's been throughout the course of the weekend for Danica.
And as you finish up, Vince, we were watching some great action going on between Tony Kanaan and Scott Dixon, and they gave each other enough space. No collision, but boy, Dixon trying to just get past the 11 of Tony Kanaan, and Kanaan's making it as difficult as possible.
And a lot of respect between those two drivers there, because maybe other drivers without as much experience could have caused a collision there right in the center of turn 3.
While all this is going on, remember we told you about Paul Tracy as he came in for a pit stop. He is now in 17th position, 15 seconds behind the race lead. Now, we've also just heard from race control that the 11 of Tony Kanaan has been warned about his race line in the driver's meeting. They were talking about where you had to be, and he does move over this time. And now the 9 of Scott Dixon makes the pass.
And under braking, a nice, smooth, clean pass, and Dixon set him up perfectly. But what they were saying is that the 11 car of Tony Kanaan was not moving over to set himself up for the entry to turn 3 as early as he would if he was driving by himself. A bit of a defensive line there by Tony Kanaan.
So Dixon's now 5th, bumped Kanaan back to 6th. Our race leader is Dario Franchitti. He's our 3rd different leader here today as we have completed 38 of 85 laps. Stay with us. We're going to go side by side.
Dougie, Dougie, Dougie.
What?
What are you doing, man? The game's on.
I used to watch for the commercials.
Thank you. Wardrobe malfunction. Right. Whoa, is that Danica Patrick?
Waiting for her exposure ad to run. You won't see it on TV, but it's on at GoDaddy.com.
See what happens next at GoDaddy.com.
At Mothers, we come up with innovative solutions to common car care problems, like yellow clouded headlights. They're unsightly, and the reduced light output is a serious safety concern. Mother's Powerball for Lights is a revolutionary product. Restoring headlight clarity may seem complicated, but it's not. Powerball for Lights is quick, inexpensive, and easy to use, even on severely damaged headlights. Restore, maintain, and protect. Mother's Powerball for Lights Headlight Restoration Kit.
There's a reason why. In 4 years of powering every car in the Indianapolis 500 race, not a single Honda engine has failed. It's not the parts we make them from. It's the part we put in to every Honda.
When was the last time we did something together as a family? We are going to take a sunset tour of the rainforest. Hold on!
Tuesday, September 28th.
Something has happened to us.
One family will go from ordinary to extraordinary.
You two are freaky.